I keep watching her being like, girl, you are too good for this.
Yeah.
You're too good for this man. Like, please walk away.
Hello, friends.
Hi.
My name's Mitch.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Mitch. This is membriash.
We're watching Love is Blind, Season 8, Episode 9.
Named after one of my favorite shows growing up in the 90s.
The X-Files, although it's EX.
I know,
it's
X. Clearly a throwback.
This is because of Dave. I guarantee you, and I have not read spoilers, I guarantee you that Dave is just making mountains out of molehills with Lauren's ex situation. Although this could be referencing Ben's ex, too.
I think it's everybody's exes.
It also says, skeptical friends and a viral video put 2 pairs on thin ice. Like, we know which 2.
Yeah, 2 pairs. Yeah, mysterious.
Right?
Yeah.
So mysterious.
Oh, no.
This is mysterious and important, okay?
We didn't get a ton of comments from our last video. I think that's totally normal, but a couple of people basically just said that maybe we're being too light on Dave. I think some people are like, Dave's not as stupid as you're making him out to be. Like, he's more in control of this. I totally get that as a possibility. I think last episode I had some realizations about how his background could impact the way he's showing up. And I just want to reemphasize, for me, reasons aren't excuses.
I think it's one thing to give someone compassion from afar, but if you're directly affected by someone's manipulative behavior, I don't think you, like, ever have a responsibility to give them, like, grace or, like, an opening or anything like that. Like, if it's in a situation where you feel like you could be manipulated by someone, cut them no breaks.
Yeah, and that's like Lauren. That's why I'm like Lauren run, and even naming one of our episodes like, what the hell are you even putting up with this for or whatever. Lauren should get the hell out. I'm just here trying to understand who the hell Dave is and where he's coming from.
I also maintain, and I said in the last episode that it would not be a popular opinion, and I know that it is not, but I just don't think he's villain level. This is not like hiding children level. This is not like, to me, right? This is not like coming in with a full-blown relationship level of villain behavior. The level of villain he would be, if you want to call him a villain, is just, in the scheme of what we see on this show,
not that big.
Not that large.
Yeah, I don't want to say big of a deal. I almost did. Not as large as it could be. And it has been.
Right. But if someone's doing this to you in your life, this probably feels really big, and like I would definitely,
or if you've experienced
move on from that situation. And like, I don't think you owe anybody any like explanations for their behavior. If this is the way they're treating you in real life, it doesn't matter. I just want to talk about ghosting.
We can't. We gotta move on.
Okay, fine.
I did wanna say Netflix is apparently chilled out on our videos, perhaps others. Appreciate people having lively conversations about that. I thought it was hilarious hopping on and looking at the comments, all the people telling Netflix to like chill out and like let people watch TV. I just find that very heartwarming, honestly. We just sharing what's happening, and then people like looking out for us and other creators and shit. It's really cool just hearing the support.
It is cool. So I hope they've chilled out on the other creators that work on this too, because I think it's a pretty cool community of people that make content around this, and it would be really upsetting if like everyone, ourselves included, was still having issues. So I'm glad they haven't blocked the most recent ones. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. So maybe we're okay?
Maybe, for now. Let's, do you want to get into it, or do you want to talk about anything else?
Just a reminder to like the video and subscribe if you want to keep seeing content like this, and to keep up the good vibes in case
the good vibes.
Netflix decides that they no longer have tolerance for us.
Yeah, yeah. It felt very PBS to me. If you like seeing content like this, there's always like the kind of spiel at the end of their program.
All right, let's watch it.
We're doing it. Let's get it.
Let's go, baby. Look who it is.
All right, we're hopping right into Sarah Ben.
That's exactly how I work from home too. Just like when you don't have to be on camera, absolute like sweats, like.
You throw on a business shirt when you need a meeting.
It's the first time that I brought a girl home to meet my parents like this, and it's not even a girlfriend, it's my fiance.
All right, so we're meeting Daniel's family.
This is gonna go well, because of course it is.
Yeah, it's gonna
How
be
could
easy
any parents
peasy.
not like Taylor?
Taylor's super kind and great. Honestly, I like her so far. Daniel and Taylor, I like both of them. I said at the beginning, I was like, I'm suspicious about all these people, and I think I lived that for a while, but I got roped in. I did.
Eventually, when people show you that they're not dangerous, which I feel like Daniel and Taylor both have, I feel like then you can like them.
They've shown it to each other, and they've also shown it to us.
We've never done this before.
You're doing great so far.
Thanks.
What could go wrong?
Him pulling his little like ankle socks up. This is why I do not wear ankle socks. I go for the big boys that go halfway up your what are those called? Just like standard.
I don't know what they're called.
Anyway, I fucking hate ankle socks. There's my
because they fall off
PSA.
your feet.
Yeah, and then I saw them like yanking them up. Like how many times they get curled up underneath your heel, and then you're
Terrible.
walking around with a sock on the end of your foot.
I know.
I hate that.
I know.
It's gotta
There are
hold.
few things in life more like viscerally annoying than having your sock be like
Rolled
rolled under your
under?
foot while you're
Yeah.
walking around.
Well, yeah, and then you're
Not protecting the heel.
Yeah.
Not doing what it's supposed to do.
and then ruining your posture
Ugh.
because it's like there's that extra fabric like rolled up.
And
It's
then you
like
gotta
having a
find the
rock in your
time to
foot.
take off your shoe,
Yeah.
fix your sock.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Because
I
if you
agree.
try and pull it up out the back, it never works right. It's going to slip
Never
right
works.
back in.
Never
Yeah.
works.
I want Daniel to meet a girl and know her heart, right? But then I thought, I actually really want this for the girl to get to know his heart.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That is sweet.
Oh my God, Daniel's mom, don't make me cry. It's early in the morning that I'm watching this, and I don't want
Yeah.
to cry so early.
My family is taking a little bit longer to warm up.
I like how casually comfortable they look too. Just like, like Daniel's got a chill vibe, but like a loving, close proximity. She looks comfortable in that.
The whole Lauren might have been like seeing a guy before she went. I don't know what's real and
It's
what's
hard.
not, like what's true and what's not.
Him even saying that like to Lauren is and I appreciate the honesty from Dave, but he's saying I don't know if I trust you, Lauren, right there. And I know he's saying it more casually and he's just taking it away from pointing at Lauren, but that's what he's saying by saying I don't know what's real and what's not.
He never hung out with us. He never came around.
So that's back to her friends vouching for her, being like, this guy wasn't like some dude that's in her life. He wasn't like a super serious relationship.
He DM'd me on Instagram and he said, so should we blow this wedding up or what?
Okay. This feels cut and dry to me, honestly.
This is where my mind spirals because I'm like, would she have ever told me about this?
Does she have a responsibility to tell him?
Have you been on dating apps before?
Right, like why would she tell him?
And that's what her friend, have you been on dating apps before? How much do you need to disclose in a relationship?
So again, though, I'm trying to figure out all of that.
I don't know. I feel more frustrated with him continuing down this path because her friends
true in
are like vouching for her
Yeah.
in like a really big way.
and I believe in an honest and compassionate way.
And giving
not
him
rude to him.
more information
Yeah.
about why they feel like this guy is not coming from a good place, that's saying things about Lauren, and Dave is still like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I have all the facts.
Yeah.
Like, that's frustrating.
He said this feels like high school shit, and then Lauren's friend said that's why I'm worried about your friends to Dave, because like what kind of high school
Yeah.
shit is going on in your clique is basically the insinuation that I would agree with.
Yeah, the high school
Yeah.
shit to me is Dave
That's his
continuing
friend group.
to harp on this and
Yeah.
continuing to not shut it down with his own friends and his
Uh-huh.
own family.
And in
when-
his own head.
Right, when he
Yeah.
clearly is getting the answers that he needs. Or if this isn't enough, nothing's enough, and then walk away.
And that's where people are saying he's using this as an excuse to leave.
But he's not leaving, then leave. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think he's about to, and
Yeah.
they're encouraged to continue through the process. But I think this is clearly his door out, because if he wasn't wanting to leave for something, he would be like, yeah, you're right. This is good evidence. It's a bug in the back of his head that's already there, that's being justified. Almost.
It's tough too. I don't
get
want to
that.
end up in the Dave apologist camp, and I'm really not a Dave apologist, and I feel
Yeah.
like he needs to fix himself and not get married on a TV show right now.
Yeah.
But if this is something that he's not going to be able to move past, then he needs to end it. And I don't
agree.
necessarily think it would be the worst thing in the world to say, I can't move past this. Meg did to Mason, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whether that's true or not, I hold out hope that they're still together. But whether that's true or not, she was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to move past this. You're not a bad person.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what Dave needs to do. You're not a
Yeah.
bad person. It's not that you did anything wrong, but
It's
I don't
too
know
much.
if I can move past this.
It's also too much for the show. And we talked about this off camera, and I said to you, Dave doesn't need an excuse to leave. He's on a ridiculous TV show
Yeah.
where you're getting married to somebody you don't know after 1 month. There's
Right.
no reason small enough, frankly, to break up with somebody in a situation
Sure.
like that, regardless of whether or not he's using it as an excuse. If he's not comfortable, he shouldn't get married.
Absolutely.
That's what I said about Taylor when I was like, is this paranoia about the Daniel stalking him thing? Maybe, but it doesn't matter, because if you're not comfortable getting married after 30 days, don't get married.
Totally.
So I got mixed feelings about it. Nobody should be trapped or feel like it's a bad reason to break up on a show like this.
I don't know what else to do. Like I'm like so helpless in this. Like I don't know what else like you need.
Do you know what I worry about though?
What?
Sitting there watching him watch her cry over this situation and still not breaking it off on his end. I worry that he's trying to put it on her to break up with him. I worry
Put the
that
pressure.
with all the manipulative stuff that he does in the
yes.
pods, with all the negging, with all the way that he calls women girls all the time, like with the way that he was talking kind of crappy about her behind her back, like
And to her face.
and in every scenario that he possibly can, I worry that this is like yet another manipulation on his end.
Yeah.
I think a prenup for me is just like if the worst thing possibly happens.
I read somebody in our comments say that the advice they heard was always write a prenup when you still love each other, because when you are in a divorce, it can turn ugly and you begin to do monstrous things, potentially.
Yeah.
Just like that terminology that this person used in their comment was just like, it's just fucking eye-opening to me, but I absolutely hear that. Like, do it in love, because you're not necessarily, if you need it, there's a big chance you won't love each other anymore, and you might even hate each other.
Yeah, and you really don't know. If you know how someone acts when they love you, you don't know how they act when they hate you.
Yeah.
And I think everyone wants to think the best of like the person they're with, but
Reasonable people can be driven to hate.
She kind of like painted a picture for me. She said that we already had one kid and she's holding her on her hip and then she's pregnant with another one, and that sounds beautiful.
That does sound just like a picturesque kind of like suburban young family kind of feel, right?
It's not my dream, but it's cute that it's their dream.
And I like how much that affected him.
Yeah.
He's relaying the story point by point fairly accurately from something that happened days ago in a chaotic journey. That impacted him heavily.
Even when she talked about financially, like supporting him, paying his medical bills, stuff like that. Like if they get married, they're a team. Like that's kind of been her like rhetoric the whole time. Like I believe she believes that.
Yeah.
Like I think that's kind of like a guiding principle for her, is like supporting her partner.
I know, isn't it? It's
Oh my God.
So did you pick it, Ben?
Yep.
It's gorgeous. I love it so much.
Somebody said about you keep saying you feel like Ben is acting. There's a scene in one of the previous episodes where he like grabs her face and holds her hand or something. He's like, let's go down together. And like before they snorkel or something. I don't remember the context and I didn't see the clip, but they said it looked like it was exactly out of a rom-com or something.
Yes, dude!
And them flagging that moment that I missed, I thought was exactly like that.
Do you know what's weird though? I do feel bad because like sometimes I'm weird, right? And then people like misinterpret my weird for something that it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I do worry that he's just a little awkward.
And we're
then
giving him too much
I'm
flack?
giving him too much, like, I do
Well,
worry
we're saying
about
that,
that.
though.
You are the most beautiful girl like I've ever seen, and it's like how
You guys are glowing. Like this is like amazing to see.
Well, I'm confused now.
I'm confused too. Whose friends are these?
Are we reading Ben wrong?
I don't know. Like they're regular, like normal humans who don't just look like copy paste of Ben?
Yeah.
What?
With all the copy paste
He
of
has
the season.
female friends? Am I reading him wrong? Because the Ben in my mind doesn't have female friends.
Now I'm just gonna shut my mouth because I don't know what the hell I'm watching.
I'm ready and willing to apologize to Ben.
Yeah, we
I'm ready.
will do an official membriash apology.
Absolutely.
To Ben if we're wrong.
How did you think the meeting went with my family?
I thought it went really good with your mom, good with your dad, not great with your sister.
Yes. That's what we all
You
saw
read it
too.
correct. Yeah.
Did I give a reason for her to not like me?
No, she was just cranky as all hell for no reason and jealous that her younger sister's getting married before her, which is not a great look.
Well, you did nothing wrong.
He showed up great with her
Even
family.
him analyzing this, he's like...
Yeah, and he's right.
Yeah.
Also, do you know what's crazy is that, like, and I don't know, maybe I'm going to sound like an asshole saying this, but Monica is currently out of work living with her parents. Joey is literally a physician's assistant. Like, he's basically a doctor, right? And, like, her sister was making it sound like he was trying to use her for something.
Right, for what?
And I'm like, for what? In what
Unless she's
capacity?
a great person, but she doesn't have, like, wealth, and she's not going to, like pay for his life, and he's not looking for that anyway.
Right. So it's confusing. I'm like, what is she saying?
The only thing you could say that he's using her for is to be on the show, but that's not really her then. He's just trying to be on the show. And they just seem great together, though.
They do.
Even if they don't stay together, it's a cute dating experience, it looks like.
I want you guys to talk, like, one-on-one.
I don't want that.
That's a terrible idea. I do not want to see her sister talk to him one-on-one.
I think you guys gotta talk.
Yeah, for real.
Joey. Monica's like, I don't want to talk to her.
He's concerned, as he should be.
Yeah.
And it's not even really her, it's like her family.
Daniel's parents are coming in to meet my parents.
Daniel's parents are coming? This is a parent meeting? That's rare on the show, isn't it?
They're getting married, dude.
They're obviously
They're getting married.
Yes, yeah. I think that's like yes material.
I feel like that's the only reason that they would be having like parents meet parents.
Yes.
Is because they're for sure they like want to get married.
We have almost never seen that.
Yeah.
That is incredibly
This is
rare.
very strange. And also seems like a very normal thing to do.
Yes, it is a very normal thing to do. That's what a normal person would do if they wanted to get married.
Yeah, like people that have close relationships with their families, I feel like pre-marriage, like you try and get your families together.
It's really me you need to work out.
I like that even though Taylor's been describing her apprehension, she's making light of it though. It's honesty, but it's also levity. That's good.
Yeah.
I think. So far.
And it helps that Daniel's just like the perfect, you
He's
want
chill.
your kid to come home with someone, it's Daniel. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he might look like a doppelganger, but in his heart, he stands out.
He is. He's separate. He's not like the other ones.
He's not like Alex.
My sister's blind. I saw how she loved people, and it was all just based on who they are.
Oh my gosh. They are going to be Netflix royalty, dude.
Yeah.
Especially because his sister is actually blind and like likes the idea of the show because like that's how she interacts with people is just based on their heart and not like what they visually look like.
Where in what world did you ever think you would get engaged and not tell me?
Well, luckily you'll get to watch it, so
I feel left out of it.
Yeah, whatever. Everybody's got different traditions. I feel like a engagement, a proposal is up to those two people. I proposed to you in the middle of a mountain gorge, and it was isolated, and it was the two of us, but it was perfect for us because we're both like we're introverted people that I'm not going to do it publicly. It's not going to be a display. I don't want there to be any pressure.
And I would have hated it if it was a display. I probably would have said no, honestly, if it was a display, which is crazy, but I think my stress would have gotten in the way, and I just would have my immediate reaction would have been like, oh no, I don't want this to be happening.
I can't deal with this. Yeah. But I don't know, and maybe so obviously she has a different perspective, but you're not robbed of a proposal. Like proposals often aren't family. Sometimes they are, but they often aren't family oriented.
To me, I feel like what she's saying though is that like generally you know the person, you know the
Yeah,
proposal's coming because the person tells you.
You know who they even are.
You know who they are. They've been in your family, and she did miss out on that part.
Yeah,
and I
true.
do like that she's being
the build
honest
up
about
of
it.
like, okay, it finally happened. Yeah.
Right. I feel like her mom's being honest about like big feelings that she's having without. I don't feel like she's really shaming either of them for that being the process.
She's expressing herself.
It's just it's hard for her because of that.
I get that.
That was one of the things that I said was I felt like I just wanted to make her happy and feel safe for like the rest of my life.
Oh.
Oh, Daniel. He's making me like I'm getting choked up because he's choked up.
There's no going back on this. We don't have divorce in this family.
Ooh, I think that's a toxic perspective about divorce, but okay.
We don't have divorce. Divorce is not an option. Obviously it doesn't matter to us from a religious standpoint because we don't have a religion. For a lot of people that it does matter for, there's a religious component to it. So I just want to acknowledge that real quick, but I agree. I think that saying and thinking divorce is never an option can lead you to really unhealthy, toxic situations.
You made the statement that for you, Daniel was a soft landing for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, he and his dad too.
The softies.
They're both criers.
No, that's
good
it's
though.
so
sweet.
Perhaps not coincidental if he's had a father that models emotions to him.
Yeah, like models like good, like emotional, like expression.
He's getting choked up too.
Oh,
look at all these men getting choked up. That's healthy.
They're choking me up.
Yeah.
We're now in a place of encouraging and uplifting and how can we help and what can we do?
Daniel's parents are so great. Oh my God. No wonder he's so great.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, ask your permission to get married to her.
Oh, he's so nervous. You can tell. Oh my God, I'm getting choked up by every part of this. Stop it.
I do.
Yes.
Oh, they said yes. They're getting married.
I'm just going to try and love her the best I can.
Well, there's at least one yes.
Oh. They're so cute. It's so rare that this show is like features people that feel genuine and their relationship feels genuine and it doesn't feel put on for the show.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know.
Daniel and Taylor feel genuine.
And some of the
what can I say?
recent like cast favorite couples have not been my personal favorite couples.
We're not naming names.
It's not like I don't like them. I just didn't feel like they're not my favorite. This relationship I really like. I like it from start to finish. There's nothing about this that gives me any level of pause.
Yeah,
Like,
until we see them at the reunion clearly setting up to start selling us products, I'm going to continue to endorse.
I imagine they'll hawk some stuff, you know? His job is literally sales manager, so the idea that he's going to not hawk shit on Instagram after this is like, you know.
Okay.
But I don't think either of them got into it to like I don't think they're continuing their relationship to be influencers.
Yeah, I agree. And they're not continuing the show to be influencers or fame. It just feels like they like each other.
They both just seem like nice, genuine people who really, really hit it off and like love each other. That Bueller moment, I swear to fucking God, dude. Beautiful.
Oh, she's got the big Stanley over there.
I don't want to go back to these people. I want the other ones. Come on now.
This is just like, I don't want to be here.
I don't either.
Who do you have coming over?
My friend Adam and Will. Obviously, like, your friends will back you. Like, they want to back me and be supportive.
Yeah, but you're in a partnership. Back you. What does that even mean? Backing you is not being rude to your partner.
Yeah, because then that's an antagonistic relationship towards somebody in your life.
Yeah.
And the only reason that you should feel that way about somebody is if they're in a really unhealthy or dangerous or unsafe place. If they have a neutral to positive relationship with the person, like, it's not your business.
I was single the day before, like, going on the show.
But, like, I wasn't, like, going home, hooking up with people literally a day before.
I hate this. I hate that he's shaming her. I hate this. I hate that he's shaming her for a relationship she had that wasn't a relationship. Like, she's allowed to have experiences with people that aren't him, and he needs to let it the fuck go.
I don't want to choose between you and my friends.
He keeps blaming his friends.
Yeah.
It's not your friends, it's you.
It's you.
You're the one attacking her over this over and over and over.
You were like, you knew for a fact that I was with him the night before. That's not a fact. It's not true.
How do I know that's not true or not?
But at the point, everything that he's saying is, I don't believe you, I believe them. So fucking bail then.
And why is he right? Why are you putting her through having to explain it? She has explained it to you. Her friends have explained it to you.
Yeah.
And if you're not satisfied with the explanation, then leave.
And I see where people are like basically saying that he's slut shaming her, and
it feels like that now.
Yeah, and
like,
all
this
this
is not
kind
in
of
control.
shit.
This is too much. It's too far. And I can't believe I can believe it, but I hate that he's continuing to do this.
How do you see somebody for a couple months
because
and
he
not
knew,
have
like,
any sort of like closure with that? Like, how do you not?
Because
it was never anything to begin with. There's nothing to close. It was never open.
Yeah, and it's also like maybe she liked his body. I'm sorry, but she's allowed to. And maybe they had fun.
It's clearly a friends with benefits. This guy was dating other people.
This was like a very explicit, like, friends with benefits situation.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. You know each other, you hang out a little bit, you hook up a little bit.
I don't understand how, like, me hooking up with someone, me, like, being friends with benefits with someone for, like, 2 months equates to me not being ready for marriage.
I agree with her.
I agree with her too. And he shouldn't be continuing to put her down or make her feel bad. Like, I'm so sad seeing her continually getting like upset and cry over this or close to tears. Because this is dumb. Like, I can't believe that this is the thing.
Yeah. I heard people be like, he's like, well, like, looking for a virgin and shit. And maybe that's not entirely true. And maybe that's an oversimplification of this. But, like, that ends up approaching the vibe, you know, like.
I think he is overly critical of everyone in his life except for himself.
Yes.
So to me, he reeks of someone that holds everyone else accountable and then shirks it for himself consistently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And walks away from any personal accountability.
I've been on dating apps. There's always like these reasons. It was the day before. Well, sorry, you're gonna say something?
It's the reason why he feels like he's better than her because he approached this right and she didn't approach this right.
He's looking down on her for sure.
Constantly.
And if he had hooked up with somebody 2 weeks before, he'd been like, yeah, but 2 weeks isn't 2 days before.
Right.
You know,
it'd
like
be anything.
There's always
Any
some
number of
freaking excuse. Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. Like, that's more reasonable. Yeah, but I know my situation. I don't know yours. There's always a fucking reason.
Yeah, totally. She doesn't deserve this. She needs to walk away. But then it sucks that she has to because she's been backed into a corner where he's been saying negative things to to her constantly, and her role in this relationship has been defending herself over and over and over and over again.
You have to like meet me halfway.
I know, and I'm trying. I really am. I've been trying.
She's doing all the work in this, and I don't understand. Now I feel like, why is he still on this show then?
I think what you said though.
Down? Like, stop putting her down, man.
I think he struggles at pulling the plug, and like you said, he doesn't want to be the one to do that.
But then
it's
in the
a culpability,
process,
responsibility thing.
He's forcing her to be accountable for things she shouldn't even need to be accountable to another person for.
You don't deserve to get that type of treatment from people that don't know you.
But you know her, and you're treating her that way then too. Like, knock it off, man.
You're like one of the best people I've ever met. That's part of the reason I fell in love with you.
Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. He puts her down, pushes her to the point of crying, then says kind things to her, and like, I don't like that. And then makes it like it's his friend's problems. Like, it's not his friend's problem, it's your problem. You're the one that doesn't fully believe her. Or you should have no problem as a grown man going to your friends and telling them they're wrong, shut up, you treat her well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the woman in my life. This is the person I'm marrying, you treat her well.
Yeah. Don't know Lauren past the show, but like, I liked her in the show. Minus the Lauren.
Me too.
Yeah, so.
And anything I don't like about her is honestly all around Dave. So I can't even tell if I feel like it's that I don't like Dave, not that I don't like her.
Yeah.
Because some of the decisions around the way that she interacted with Molly,
that's
Dave is
shit.
all over that.
Yeah.
Right? How can you can't separate
sticky
Dave
little
from
fingers
that?
Are all over the
Absolutely.
place. Yeah.
And I feel like I see in her, like, in these scenarios, someone that is like just doing her absolute best and it's not good enough.
Last night, I literally like laid there and cried for like an hour before falling asleep.
Girl, leave the relationship, please.
Yeah. It's almost over.
But he broke her down in the relationship, so it's hard for her
I
to
know.
walk away then.
Yeah.
Which is what happens when people get manipulated, and when there's like, I'm not saying this is rises to the level of that, but when you have emotional abuse in relationships, it's hard for people to walk away because they've been broken down so much by the time they get there.
I'm like really trying to like get back to where we were. Literally a week ago.
Where I'm just insulting your appearance and calling you old and saying I don't like your pigtails. Let's get back there. That's the normal that he wants to get back to, because that's what was happening before.
I am still in love with you, and I still am there with you.
And he won't let her go. He's like, I'm still in love with you. Like, I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
And this is what people do too. And I'm sorry, but at this point, it's like...
Emotional immaturity or not, he's holding her there. Whatever the reason is, the effect is that he's holding her there while he's spinning around in his own head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's clearly negatively affecting her. She's telling you she's crying herself to sleep at night, and then you're still, like, doing both, like, playing both sides, you know? Where, like, you're putting her down, and then telling her, oh, but I love you, you're one of the best people I've ever met. Like, the whiplash of that.
Yeah.
Man-child.
And he feels really disconnected, too, just the way he's talking. Because he doesn't move anything forward.
I'm so mad at him
He
right
just
now.
sits there and stews in his shit.
I'm so mad. I hope at the reunion they hold him accountable for the way that he's treating her, because this is out of control.
They will, because they're not getting married. Now, had he robbed a bank and shot 3 people, but they got married, they would be true love. What? It's a fact. We've seen it happen.
I'm just glad that Daniel and Taylor seem very unproblematic. So I don't think that there'll be a point where we'll be mad where we're like, they're not holding them accountable, because I don't think they really need to.
There's nothing to talk about on the show. Yeah.
And I'm just so happy that like I've met you. Like that this brought me to you.
There's no way they get married, right? Am I crazy?
Are they married?
What's the difference between this and Daniel and Taylor is what I keep asking myself, and I feel off about this, and I feel great about Daniel and Taylor. I don't understand.
You heard shit about Ben.
Do we think that's all it is?
Yeah, but we heard shit about Daniel, and then we got clarification, because it was like, oh, did you stalk her? And then it's like, oh, well, what I thought happened didn't happen. This doesn't seem real.
I also heard shit about Alex, and while that does like change my opinion of him as a whole person, it didn't change the way that I saw him showing up in the pod episodes.
You don't trust this guy.
I don't trust him.
Maybe he reminds you of people that have been like this before. Maybe.
What?
Oh, here we go.
There's this girl on TikTok. She says like in Minneapolis they're filming.
She's crying in it. Yeah.
He knows about it already.
He's seen it.
And he didn't talk to her about it.
I haven't talked to her in over 4 years.
But why would she react this way?
Well,
because it's bad. It was bad enough that 4 years later she still cares. That's why.
Because I wish I could give you a more like, yeah, it was a dramatic breakup. I didn't treat her well because of this reason or this reason.
I wish you could say that too, because it'd make me feel less sus about you.
I just honestly can't remember what happened.
She's making it up, but I can't remember what happened. Are confusing conflicts. aren't they?
He remembers a lot of stuff for someone that doesn't remember, is how I end up feeling.
I don't even know if we did talk after the 4 years, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a DM or something here and there.
He doesn't know now. I plead the fifth. Ben pleads the fifth.
He's ceding the possibility too. I wouldn't be surprised if
more comes out of this, if I find out like there's anything at all, I won't be able to trust you.
She's laying her cards out on the table, and I appreciate that. She's a straight shooter, a direct talker, and I like that from people. I like that a lot. I do too. I'll choose to trust you now. I'm not going to dismiss this. If more shit comes out, it's going to be problematic for me. She laid it right out on the table.
I will know what life that is in a few hours.
Whoa, Sarah and Ben make it to the weddings. Whoa, Sarah and Ben make it to the weddings.
Oh my God.
Oh, girl, don't marry him. Don't you marry him.
There we go. Episode 9? Yeah, episode 9. That was
episode
the last
9.
Okay.
Yep. I think at this point in the season, maybe what we should do is just a recap of like who should and should not be getting married. I want to start with the easiest one, which is Taylor and Daniel, and I absolutely think that they should get married. And if they're not married from this, then maybe they still date or whatever. But those two,
they're adorable.
who else? They fit so well together. When people on this show say, like, I can't imagine not having known you, I can't imagine watching this that Daniel and Taylor met like this. Like,
Yeah.
I imagine that they've known each other for years. They, like, started dating when they were, like, kids, like, Boy Meets World type, type nonsense. Like, they feel like they've known each other a long time.
Yeah.
And, like, there are essentially zero issues in their relationship.
It feels that way.
0 red flags. Yeah. Go for it, kids.
Go for it, kids. Go for it, young adults.
Devin and Virginia.
It'd be a yes for me. I like them. I think something could happen in the next episode. I think that we saw a preview, not this time, but previously, of Virginia crying in relation to that scene. But it doesn't mean that it's bad tears. It doesn't mean that it's not.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a little tension or weirdness with the Brittany thing, but I thought that was a pretty big friend zone thing. And she
I thought
was,
so too.
at this point in the background, she's dating that other dude, or was up until...
Oh, Mo.
Yeah,
totally.
She was dating or is dating Mo that isn't shown at all.
And who knows when that ended.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I could see it going either way too. I kind of end up feeling like one of them is going to end up saying no and just being like, I'm not ready. And that's going to ruin the relationship.
Yeah, and I feel like that's not unreasonable, but also, like, so if it went yes, I'd be happy for him. If it went no, I'd be like, that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Monica and Joey?
I think it's a yes. I think some of those clips could also be misleading about like the intimacy thing, but also that is a concern. What if they are more friend zone? And we haven't heard her express that concern, but it could be editing choices to wait until the final episode to include the shit that's been happening the entire time, and be like, hey, like, I don't know if you even like me that much. Like, I'm not feeling enough like affection towards me. Like that could split them up. If that isn't as big of an issue as the previews are making it seem, I would say yes.
Monica's sister too, because if Monica's sister, yeah. I do
Family's
worry.
Important.
I don't want to like harp on Monica's sister too much because she didn't ask for like all of the like hoopla around the show, and I'm sure that she's like getting dragged. But if she puts it in Monica's head that Monica is more into the relationship than Joey is, and Joey's using her, that could poison the whole thing.
Yeah, could. Yeah.
Poison the water.
Yeah, poison the well.
Sarah and Ben, I think should say no.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust Ben.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a value misalignment. So even if I trusted Ben and even if I thought that their relationship was great, there are clear value misalignments that we saw in the pods that I don't think the relationship should have gone out of the pods.
Yeah.
So.
And then it's easy to hang out with somebody for a few weeks when you're not really digging into core issues. It's harder to make a life with them. I think there's a pretty massive value misalignment when she talks about activism, BLM, like LGBTQ rights, and then he's like, it doesn't affect me, don't care.
Yeah.
The likelihood of him coming over on that when that's the starting ground for me is pretty close to zero. And people made the joke that they felt like this cast voted on egg prices, and I feel like that's what we're getting, which I don't think is a good long-term solution for the two of them.
Do you know what else was interesting? They got ripped apart for it, so I can understand where maybe even if this was happening, they didn't put it on TV. But Marissa and Ramses last season had a lot of like really deep, really intense conversations because they had value misalignments on the military and military service, on like what's like activism and like issues around Palestine and things like that.
A lot of that also tied into the military, like you're talking about
Sure.
as well. Yeah.
They had like big, very important conversations around stuff like that. And we got to see that with Sarah and Ben.
We see none of it.
We see none of it.
And it doesn't mean it's not happening, but
Very
we
strange.
see none of it.
Yeah.
It's either Netflix censoring people effectively, or they have to make decisions on what to show and what not to show.
Yeah, of course.
But Netflix making decisions to not air conversations like that, or it's them not having them.
The way they're acting around each other makes me feel like they're not having it. Because with
me too. I
Marissa and
agree.
Ramses, even when they met up with friends then, it was like it seeped into other aspects.
There was a little bit like it's boiling under the surface.
Right.
And the funny thing with them is that they were like 95% aligned probably on most issues versus
Yeah.
you see the two of these people being like basically on opposite camps.
And maybe that's why they're not bringing it up, because it
Yeah.
would cause a lot of like tension, I think, if they were to actually talk about some of the things that they talked about in
Yeah.
the pods in person.
I also don't think that's necessarily them not bringing it up. I think that it's her having feelings, him mollifying her, and then them not bringing it up because he's not fighting her or having an opinion.
Right.
So I don't even think I'd put more of the onus on Ben.
And then who's left? Dave and Lauren. No.
No, they're
Say
not.
no.
Yeah,
man.
they're not going to make it to the wedding.
No.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't.
And they shouldn't.
And
That's pretty bad.
Dave needs to... Okay.
Dave, villain of the season, but still not the biggest villain, I would say. I agree with that previous assessment.
It's just that we have a season full of like people that aren't really
Pretty
like
neutral.
villainous.
Yeah,
so
yeah. And even like bad behavior for me doesn't make a villain, you know? Like
I
they're
guess we'll
true
see the
villains.
next episodes though, because if he
Maybe.
does some shady stuff around
Oh, that's
like
true.
his interactions with Molly, if he does some shady stuff in terms of night before the wedding not talking to her, that I would be
Yeah.
really pissed about. So I guess maybe he could claim his title still, if in my mind, if
As a
he
true
does some
villain
other
rather
stuff.
than villain of the season to
Yes.
be a villain. Because that's different, right?
And if he continues along this narrative of essentially slut-shaming Lauren for having a completely normal, consensual adult relationship, then
As a 30-year-old woman.
I'm already over Dave, and I'd been over Dave. And last episode, him talking a little bit more about his family and him being compassionate towards Lauren at that point about her like previous experience, I felt a little bit like better about him. This episode, I cannot handle his bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And like I keep watching her being like, girl, you are too good for this.
Yeah.
You're too good for this man. Like, please walk away. But yet he's broken her down, and he's been doing it since they met each other in the pods. Dave needs therapy, man.
Dave needs therapy. On that note,
Thank you for watching.
Do you need therapy?
Do you need therapy?
After
I
what?
need therapy now. I need to talk about this even more with
Yeah.
more people and remind myself not to cut people breaks that literally say rude things to you. The first thing he says to you is rude. Don't cut that man breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm done cutting him breaks in the TV show. I don't care how many sob stories they tell about it. I'm over it.
This episode actually really did make me, because the last episode was like I didn't dislike as much as people are saying. This episode made me dislike him similarly, or like other people are saying online. This sucked to watch.
This sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. This Dave's
got to own his
God
own
damn
shit.
it, Dave.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So hopefully you're doing that, Dave. Anything else?
No, I'm done.
All right, thank you for being here. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, because the band gremlin, known as Netflix and/or whatever service or vendor they're using to interact with YouTube, might come back and ban our videos.
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not.
Let's hope maybe they heard the backlash and they were like, "Nah, we gotta calm down."
Yeah, we
you
gotta
know?
calm down.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
We're so small. It's hard to imagine they did. But like,
Not
maybe
from us, but we're a small bit of
from
multiple people.
One of the bigger
Yeah,
channels.
yeah.
Hopefully they heard some stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you when they drop new episodes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
And then I got it knocked, and I started going,
Ridiculous.
All those tearjerker.
Hey, we're gonna go on a cruise this summer. You should come with us.